Ozone layer is what we'll be looking at for today's lecture. What is the ozone layer? Ozone layer is the thin part of the Earth's atmosphere. It is the thin part of the Earth's atmosphere that is responsible for absorption of almost all the sun's harmful radiations. That's what we call ozone layer. So it is situated there, and precisely this ozone layer, is precisely found in the part of the atmosphere called stratosphere. Stratosphere. That is where you find ozone layer. It is the part of the Earth's atmosphere called stratosphere. That is where ozone is found. Don't forget, it is responsible for absorption of the harmful ultraviolet rays or radiation from the sun, at least from getting to us down here on Earth. So that is what we call ozone layer. But how is this ozone formed? Remember, ozone is represented like this, just like a diatomic oxygen, but this one is what? Ozone. This is ozone. So it results when oxygen undergo photodissociation. What do I mean? When oxygen now reacts with ultraviolet light, it will split oxygen into two. That is photodissociation of oxygen yield ozone. So an atom of that oxygen, will now react with another oxygen, which will now finally give you what? Ozone. This is how ozone is found in the stratosphere. That is how it is formed, and it is situated at the stratosphere part of the atmosphere. So that is what we call ozone. Don't forget, it is responsible for absorbing most of the ultraviolet light or radiation from the sun, at least from getting to us. So if we are exposed to the ultraviolet radiation from the sun, I don't know how we feel here on Earth. But this ozone layer now is responsible for absorbing, then at least from getting to us to harm us. Okay, so that is what we call ozone layer. That is how it is formed. Now, what is ozone layer depletion? What is ozone layer depletion? Let me just illustrate a little thing about this ozone layer depletion. Assuming that rain is falling, I decided to defy the rain. What will you use? You use umbrella. That umbrella at least will prevent that rainfall from getting to you directly. But what if that umbrella has holes? Whereas when you are walking with the umbrella and yet your clothes are soaked. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying about this. So it is just like that for ozone layer. If the ozone layer depletes, it might not function properly. Remember the strategic function of ozone to absorb ultraviolet radiation from the sun from getting to us. That is the same thing with that umbrella that you are holding that has holes. When you are walking, your clothes will be soaked, whereas you are still holding umbrella, which is supposed to protect you either from the sunlight or from the rainfall. So ozone layer depletion is just trying to tell us how human activities have depleted that layer there from performing its function. Say ozone layer depletion is just the major cause of ozone. The major cause of that ozone layer depletion is our activities, just like I have said before. Our activities hinders or try to make holes. I will use that term, holes. Try to make holes in the ozone layer. And once the ozone layer has holes, it might not be absorbing the excessive harmful ultraviolet radiation. So which means we'll be exposed to that harmful radiation directly from the sun. Okay. Human activities, like we are saying, leads to the production of some harmful chemicals, such as oxides of carbon, oxides of carbon, see carbon 4 oxide, see nitrogen 4 oxide, you see chlorofluorocarbons, etc. So human activities leads to the production of all these chemicals, which will attack the ozone layer, causing it to have holes. That is what we call depletion, causing it to have holes. So we will look at how these gases, harmful gases, react with ozone and how it will release into ordinary oxygen. Remember, ordinary oxygen there cannot function or cannot act like ozone because that ozone is specifically and naturally meant for absorption of harmful ultraviolet light. So if these ones attack ozone, let us see how it will deplete it to simple oxygen. Stay tuned. If you watch carefully, you see that the sulfur 4 oxide will now attack ozone, forming sulfur 6 oxide and depleting that ozone to ordinary oxygen. That is the reaction of how sulfur 4 oxide will attack ozone. Now depleting it to simple oxygen. The same thing with nitrogen monoxide and all the rest of them. They attack here. But importantly, this carbon, chlorofluorocarbon, it will react with that ultraviolet light to form this compound and releasing a free radical called chlorine. And this free radical called chlorine is the one that will attack ozone. That is just the reaction. This one, this chlorofluorocarbon will react with ultraviolet light that is there, released by the sun. It will form this and now release a free radical, which is chlorine. It is that chlorine that is released from chlorofluorocarbon that will attack ozone. And once it attacks ozone, it will form this. Have you seen it as releases to ordinary oxygen? This is ordinary oxygen. So this one alone, this one again will now react with a single atom of oxygen to release another free radical of chlorine, which will further attack ozone. It then means that one molecule of chlorine, free radical chlorine, can attack 1,000 ozone layers before it is now removed from the stratosphere. Let me say that again. It means that an atom of chlorine can destroy, let me put it that way, can destroy 1,000 ozone molecule, depleting to ordinary what? Oxygen. That is to say that ozone layer is easier destroyed than it is created. If one chlorine atom can destroy 1,000 pieces of ozone, which means it then means that the way ozone is formed is lesser than how it can be destroyed. So no matter how many ozone that is there out there, ozone layer, so one chlorine atom can destroy 1,000 pieces of it, and so on and so forth. But don't forget that ozone can be destroyed more quickly than it is usually created. I have said that before now. Okay, that is all about ozone layer depletion. Don't forget that this ozone layer depletion has a global consequences. Maybe next time we will check global warming because all these things are interrelated. Stay tuned.